This video will walk you through entering a payment adjustment when the insurance paid for a procedure, then retracted part of that payment, and then applied that amount to another patient's account. If there are multiple adjustments, be sure that all adjustments are performed on the original payment. To begin, access the patient whose payment was partially retracted in the Payment tab, and then click the Review Payment sub-tab. Next, use the filter items to locate the payment. Once the payment has been located, modify the paid or write-off amount as needed. When the Do You Want to Enter an Adjustment Now message appears, click the Yes button. A payment adjustment screen will then appear. Enter the date paid for this adjustment. This would typically be the date of the check or EOB that contains the retraction, or the date of entry. Next, you can enter the check number that reflects the payment or retraction. In the new column, enter the corrected amount paid. When entering the amount paid, do note that if previous retractions have been performed for this payment, to be sure to enter the proper dollar value for the new amount paid. For example, if the original paid amount was $150 and the insurance first retracted $25, then the initial new amount paid would be $125, 150 minus 25. Once the initial adjustment is made, a new adjustment line will indicate minus $25 in the payment field. If the insurance then retracts the remaining $125, then the new amount paid would be $25, 150 minus 125, since the previous retractions must be taken into account when entering subsequent retractions, and the retraction is taking place from the original payment amount. Thus, once the adjustment is made, there will be the initial adjustment line that indicates minus $25 in the payment field, along with the second adjustment line that indicates minus $125 in the payment field. 150 minus 25 minus 125 equals 0. In our example, the original amount is $150 and there are no previous retractions. The insurance company retracted half of this, or $75. Therefore, the new amount will be $75. In the type field, modify the payment type as needed. This would typically be the payment type that was associated with the original payment. In the new column, enter the corrected write-off. In our example, our initial amount was $20, but we need to modify this so the new value is $50. In the type field, modify the write-off code as needed. This would typically be the write-off code associated with the original write-off. Next, be sure the Include in Deposit box is checked, and then enter an optional note for this payment adjustment if needed. When the adjustment information has been configured as needed, click the OK button. A separate line item will appear in the payment list indicating the amount subtracted from the paid and write-off amounts. In the Review Payment screen, click the Save button. Now we can apply the retracted amount to the patient who is the recipient of the retracted amount. Do note that there may be multiple patient accounts for which the retracted amount is to be applied, and also situations where multiple payment entries need to be made for a patient that includes an entry for the retracted amount, as well as an additional entry for the payment included in the EOB check. In our example that follows, we will show where the adjusted or retracted amount equals the amount paid to a single patient account. Click the Make a Payment tab, and then access the patient you are applying the retracted amount to. Click the charge or charges you want to apply the payment to, and then enter the allowed deductible, paid type, write-off code, and make sure the Who Paid field is correct. You can then enter a billing statement message in the message field if needed. Now you need to make sure that the deposit column for the line item is checked. You can then enter the check number and date paid. When finished, click the Save button. If there are multiple patients or line items that need to be entered to satisfy the retracted amount, you can then repeat the process of applying the retracted amount until that retracted amount has been fulfilled.